are going to be making some spooky Halloween banana oatmeal cookies. They're sugarless, but they are a sweet treat because of the bananas. This year, Halloween's going to be looking a little bit different, so you guys can still have a sweet treat at home, and we'll get started right away.
But first, we need to clean our space, and we need to wash our hands.
Yeah.
So, let's clean the counter.
When you guys are cooking with an adult at home, you can help them clean the table like we are.
Okay, now we're going to go wash our
Yeah.
hands.
Now that the table's clean, let's go wash our hands with Yolanda.
All right, my friends, now we're going to wash our hands. And remember, we're going to do this for 20 seconds. We're going to turn the water on. Get some soap. And we're going to sing a song. Can you sing along with me?
Scrub the palms between the fingers. Wash the back, twirl the tips around. Scrub them upside down. Thumb attack.
And now we have to wash all the soap. And we get the paper towel and we're going to turn the water off with the paper towel so we don't get our hands dirty again.
All right, my friends. So now that our counter is clean and our hands are all nice and clean, we are ready to bake. So all you need for today are 3 very ripe bananas. We're gonna need some oats, instant oats. You're also gonna need a little bit of milk, salt, baking powder, vanilla, some cinnamon, and egg as well. As always, the ingredients list is gonna be in the description, and there's also an ingredient, parent-friendly and a kids-friendly printout that you can either print or you can just download onto your phone or your tablet and go from that. So let's get started. So I'm going to take 3 bananas. 1, 2, and which one also looks really ripe, my friends? Yeah, I think this one. 3 bananas. So your little one can peel the bananas. If they have trouble peeling it, what I usually like to do is I'll grab, as the adult, like a knife, and I will chop off the tiny bit at the end and then create a slit down the middle. So it's easier for your little ones to peel it off, so they can do that at home. So we're just gonna peel the banana, peel. And then, my friends, as you put them in, to make it easier for you to mash it up, I like to break it apart in my hands as I put it in the bowl. So your little one can do that as well. So let's just do these 2 other ones really quickly. So today, as we're cooking, we're going to be talking about fine motor skills and how cooking is a great way to help your little one develop their fine motor skills. A really good example of this is peeling the banana and then breaking them up into little pieces, because for the younger ones, it's going to be quite the struggle because they don't have that pincer grip yet. So if you notice, when they're holding the banana, they'll hold it in their palm, which is why cutting the end of the banana and then creating that slit down the middle will be easier for them to peel it. And also breaking them up into little pieces is also a great way to help them with their fine motor skills. Again, when they're younger, they're going to be using their whole hand to break it off. But as they work on it, as they develop it through cooking, through play, it'll get a little bit easier for them. And then you'll notice they get a little bit more sophisticated, and then they'll start breaking it off with their fingers instead. So this is the fun part for my friends at home. You're going to grab a spoon. If you have a potato masher, go ahead and use that as well. And we are going to mash up the bananas. This is so fun for my friends at home because this is just a great way. And I mean, if you're stressed, go for it. Just go and mash it up. Now, if your little one is doing this, what I usually recommend you to do is grab a really big bowl like this. And it's a super big bowl, not very necessary for the bananas. But if your little one is cooking at home with you, if you put everything in a huge bowl, then they're not as likely to spill out or create as much of a mess. But I mean, cooking's pretty messy, so, and they love helping clean up, especially the younger ones. So take advantage, let them help. And I know that cooking is a great bonding activity too. And it's also just a great activity in general, especially if you don't have a lot of room in your house, if it's a smaller space. Cooking is a great activity to do at home, especially on those colder days when you guys aren't out and about, because mashing up these bananas is actually quite the physical exertion, especially if they're not too ripe. Then you get stubborn ones like these that don't want to mash up. But we are just going to keep going, keep mashing, my friends. How old were you guys when you started cooking? I know when I started helping my parents out in the kitchen, I was probably around 2. Obviously I wasn't using any sharp knives or cooking on the stovetop, but my mom would let me help mix stuff. And obviously I created a huge mess in the kitchen, but you know, that's all part of the learning process, right? If your family likes little chunks, then don't mash it up too perfectly. I'm gonna make it a little bit smoother, just because the oats are chunky. If your little one is sensitive to things like texture, mashing up the bananas is super fine, or putting it in the blender, but also grinding up the oats once you add them in will help with the texture as well. So this is all nice and mashed up, so you guys can see it. Gonna do one last go around. Okay, done. So next we are gonna add 2 cups of oats. So I only have 1 measuring cup here, and it's a 3/4 cup. So I'm gonna have to do a rough estimate, which is about 2.5 of these cups. So let's count together. Ready, my friends? Can you count at home together with me? Make sure it's nice and level. Your little one will love doing this part too. So we're gonna go 1, 2, and then half of this cup, because this is not a full 1 cup. And half. That is done. And now we are going to need 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So this is the baking powder we are going to use today. And I have these 2 spoons. One is 1 teaspoon and then the other is half of a teaspoon. So half of a teaspoon should usually be smaller than the 1 full teaspoon. So my friends at home, which one is the smaller spoon? That's right, it's this one. This one's the smaller spoon. So this is the half and this is the 1 full teaspoon. So we're gonna need both of these. So measuring and baking, cooking, it's a great way to help with their fine motor skills, but also when they're placing it into your bowl or to wherever, then it requires hand-eye coordination. So if you've noticed, you start cooking with your young one at maybe 18 months or 2 years, like I did with my mom, then it's gonna be they're probably gonna miss half or most of the time. But that's why you keep cooking with them, because then they get a little bit more accurate, and also they can learn a whole bunch of stuff too. So next I have some cinnamon, and we are gonna need half of a teaspoon. So again, my friends, which of these spoons do I need? Half is gonna be smaller, so I have 1 teaspoon and half of a teaspoon. That's right, we're gonna need the smaller spoon. So we need half a teaspoon of cinnamon. We are going to need 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. So I have my 1/4 teaspoon here. And what I do is I like to pour it over like a bowl or something. So if I go too much, then it's okay. So salt is not wanting to come out today, my friends. And then if you spill a bunch out into the bowl, it's okay, because you can always put it back into the salt, which is what I just did. So next we're going to need 1 full teaspoon of vanilla. So I have my teaspoon here, and we are just gonna pour it in, and we need 1 egg. So if your little one is gonna be helping you crack the egg, what I like to do is give my little friends here a separate bowl, and they can try to crack the egg into this bowl. That way, if they get shells or whatever, you can take it out and then put it into our mix. So let's crack. Ready? We're gonna tap, tap, tap the sides, but very gently. So tap, tap, tap. And then we use both hands to open. And look, our egg is in. So let's go ahead, and there's no shells. Let's check, my friends. Are there any shells in here? No, I don't think so. So let's pour it in. Ready? Whoop. Good job, my friends. Next, we need 1/4 cup of milk, but we're not gonna pour all of it in. I'll show you what we're gonna do. So, my friends at home, let's measure 1/4 cup. Should probably take this out first. Okay. Now, but we should probably shake our milk, right? So let's make sure the lid is back on nice and tight, and we're gonna shake, 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 shake. Okay. We're gonna pour 1/4 cup. All right, so we have 1/4 cup. Let's put our lid back on. Whoops. Whoopsie daisies. So if you're getting your little one to practice their fine motor skills, trying to put things back on, like lids and stuff, is another great way, because it also requires hand-eye coordination and the use of their pincer grip to turn. So if your little one is a little bit younger, they don't have, they're still working on this, larger containers like this baking powder right here would be great because it's a wider opening, so they have to use like their full hand compared to this milk or even the vanilla bottle, because it requires a little bit more maturity to really fully twist it on. But even this oat bag that has a resealable top is another great way for them to work on that as well. So we are not going to be pouring the milk in right away. What I'm going to do, and my friends at home, you guys can help help the one that you're helping cook to mix. So as our little ones are mixing, you're gonna slowly add the milk until it becomes like a nice texture. Because right now with all the oats, it's a little bit dry. The bananas are helping it a little bit. So we're gonna stop. We're gonna pour a little bit, and we're gonna keep mixing. My friends, keep mixing until everything is nice and incorporated. This recipe is great because it's sugar-free. There's no added sugar. All the sugar goodness is in the bananas, as well as the yogurt frosting that we will be putting on after it's done baking and cool. So this is a pretty good texture. All the oats are soaked, they're a little bit wet. It's gloopy, but it's not too runny. So you see, I didn't use all of my milk. That's why we slowly pour it in. Baking really depends on the humidity of the day or in your house. So it's a little warm in here, which is probably why I didn't need all of that milk. But let's clear all of this, because now we're gonna bring in our baking tray. I've already gone ahead and lined it with aluminum foil. Preferably, you guys should have parchment paper, but we don't have it here, so we're lining it with aluminum foil right now. I'm going to grab a spoon. Any old spoon will do. And I'm going to scoop it into the pan. And you can make it as big or as small as you want. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. If you guys want, if you have cookie cutters, you can turn them into shapes like I have here. So we can do like a pumpkin one right here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fill it up using our spoon. Make sure it's nice and filled, my friends. Oops. Okay. So you can do that. If you don't have any, just do what I did and scoop it into the pan. But I'm gonna keep doing this, and then I'm gonna pop it in the oven for 15 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit. All right, my friends, I don't know if you can smell it, but it smells so yummy in here. So I just took it out of the oven. They were in there for a little bit less than 15 minutes because the oven here is very powerful, very strong. So you want to leave them in there for roughly 15 minutes or until the cookies are nice and golden brown. But while it's cooling, we're going to be making our yogurt icing. So all you really need is just yogurt. But we have plain regular yogurt, but because it might be a little too runny, I have plain Greek yogurt to add to make it a little bit more thick. So I have flavored yogurt here, but you guys use whatever yogurt you have at home. we happen to have both flavors. So today I'm having field berry flavored yogurt. What flavor do you have? Do you have plain? Do you have vanilla? Do you have all berries? Which ones do you have? And your little ones can help you with this as well because they're pouring. Again, great for their fine motor skills. So, I have all the yogurt mixed up. And now to thicken it a little bit, I'm going to add plain Greek yogurt. No sugar added. So, let's mix this up. Mix, 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 mix. If it gets a little messy, it's okay. We'll clean it up after. So I have one big spoonful, and we're gonna mix together. If you think you need more, add more. I might do just a little tiny bit. And I have here Ziploc bags. If you have piping bags, all the better, but we don't here, so I am using Ziploc bags. You can find them at the dollar store, the grocery store, wherever. And I have two of them, one for me and one for Yolanda, so that when our cookies are nice and cool to touch, we can decorate together. So this is all nice and mixed up, and I'm gonna split this in half evenly. If you're doing this with your little one at home, these bags, the smaller bags, are perfect size for their little hands to squeeze. So we are gonna add some in here, just like so. Get your little ones to help you. It's gonna be super messy, but that's okay. Because we're going to wash our hands again after this, right? Because we'll be doing stuff after while we wait for the cookies to cool. So we want our hands nice and clean when we're touching the cookies again. Alright, so once you have it in the bag, I'm going to put this in the fridge, and when we're ready to pipe, you're just gonna cut a little tiny slit right here, and then we'll show you how we're gonna decorate together. All right, my friends. So our cookies are now nice and cool. We went and re-washed our hands. I don't know if you can tell, but look, this is our pumpkin, and this is our bat. So we took it out of the oven once the bottoms became a nice golden brown. So they are nice and cool to touch. So we are going to decorate. We took our piping bag out of the fridge. Yolanda's already has a hole in it, but I got to cut this one. So I'm going to take this and the scissors. You might need an adult to help you. And we're going to cut a little tiny bit off. And now we're going to decorate. So I think I'm going to grab a pumpkin.
I'm going to grab a bat.
You're going to grab a bat, okay. And now, my friends, if you have fruit at home, you guys can cut up the small fruits and decorate it on top. We have sprinkles. So we have chocolate sprinkles and then 3 different rainbow sprinkles. So let's see. And, oh, this is upside down. So you're going to want to squeeze all the yogurt into the corner and then also gently start piping. So I'm going to do, maybe I should do a jack-o'-lantern, my friends. Yolanda, what are you doing?
I'm just going to cover my bat all up.
Ooh, that looks like a good idea.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do triangle eyes and then a big old smile. Now, if you don't want to use up the fruit or the sprinkles, you can leave it as it is with just the yogurt. And because we use flavor yogurt, it is nice and flavorful. But we're going to use a little bit of the sprinkles.
I'm going to put 2 eyes on mine.
Ooh, I'm going to use the chocolate sprinkles for the eyes. And then, let's see here. this is nice and bright in color. I'm gonna use the same sprinkles for the happy face, or the smiley. And if you get if you're using sprinkles and it gets all over the place, it's okay because we're gonna have to clean up afterwards anyways. But, look guys. We're just gonna. Do you see my little jack-o'-lantern?
And here's my bag.
Wow.
The colorful
look
bag
at
is
that.
not black and white. It's not black.
Yeah, so we are going to throw these in the fridge so that the yogurt can harden a little, but we've already pre-decorated some of the cookies. They've been sitting in the fridge, but look how they turn out.
Thank you so much again for joining us, and I hope that these simple cookies were something that inspired you to make something at home. Please share with us what you've made at home for the Halloween, for the season, and I hope they taste good as ours will.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good day.
Bye, and happy Halloween.
Bye.
Bye.